Hello there, welcome to this YouTube video. Here I'm going to show you how to cut pants for plus size people, plus size women especially. So over here we're just arranging the fabrics that we're going to use to make pants for a plus size client. So first we're going to determine the length of the fabric that we need to make the pants, and also the wideness of the person's thigh. That's what I've folded on the table. That's the wideness of the person's thigh plus 1 inch. That's half inch allowance. Over here, you see me marking 42 inches length for the pants. And you notice at the top, I left the tape off by 1.5 inch. That's for the waistband. That's half inch for joining, and the remaining 1.5 for the waistband, or 2 inches thereabouts. The next thing you're going to want to do is to measure the body rise. The body rise is determined from the crotch depth. So usually I use a tape to measure a client's crotch depth. I'm going to make another video on how to take the body rise of each client. That's what gives a good pants fitting, because of the body rise. Everybody has different body morphology. Meanwhile, these are the tools you need for your pants. You need this curve, your straight ruler, because there are lots of straight lines you need to make an accurate pants that fits a person. So over here, I'm just measuring her knee point. Her knee point is about 20 inches. A lot of adults, their knee point is 20 inches. For shorter people, 18 inches. For taller people, way taller people, 19. But don't just take the value of, okay, tall and short. Make sure you determine the person's knee point by measuring. Measurement is just so important. So the next thing you want to do is to get the person's crotch depth by dividing the person's body rise into 2, and then doing some other calculations involved, which I just took my calculator to do. So most times, to get a person's crotch depth and the curve in the crotch depth, I divide the person's hip by 4, divide it by 4 again. That's the value. Divide the value by 4 again. So for somebody like me, my hip is 43.5. When I divide it by 4, divide it by 4 again, I'll get 2.75. So 2.75 is what I'm going to mark. What you just see me mark down is half inches, then marking the crotch curve. For this person is 3.2 because it's a larger person. That's the value I got for her own measurement. Whatever you have, measure it and mark it. Make sure you don't just follow what you see on the video. Use your own measurement, divide your hip into 4, then divide the value you get again into 4 to get the value for that distance, from the distance of this place to this other place. That's how I get that. So if you don't get the appropriate curve for each person, you end up making pants that will be holding the person's body in a funny way, and then there will be a lot of fold there. So for this person, because she's a big woman, she's big in size, she's a plus size, I used about 12.5 for the depth. Her body rise is about 33. Yeah. So most times you want to get the distance from the top to that line where I have that tape. You have to divide the person's body rise by 2. Then minus this 3 points, whatever you get here on it, on that same line. This line I just drew now is the hip line. I mean the thigh line. Her thigh is around 30 something. So that's why I see it's very long. Then you make sure you mark the center of the thigh. That's to get a good pant in it. That's a pant that is in a good position. A lot of times you see people making pants, and then the trouser will be going to one side, to be bending to the left or to the right, as if it's trying to turn to another side. This is because there's no accuracy in the center. You have to get a good center for that pant. Whatever measurement you have on your thigh, if your thigh is 15, make sure the center you mark it 7.5. If your thigh is 18, make sure you mark 9 inches, and then you mark this straight line there. This straight line will determine how the pant will appear on the person. It's very, very important. So as you can see, I just marked that line, and on that same line, that's the line you mark the person's that. So this is the bottom part. Then what I just marked right now is the folding part of the downside. I like to fold my pants with hemming gum. That's after I finish weaving them for a very neat finish. So the next thing you want to mark right now is to mark the knee measurement of the person. If your knee is 20, you're going to be marking 5 on either side of the line. You're not going to mark 10 once. No. Mark 5 on the left, 5 on the right. Then add your sewing allowance. As you can see, for her, hers is like 7.5. So I marked 7.5 on both sides. I'm so sorry my camera couldn't capture the other side, but at least you can ask in the comment section anything you think you're confused, any part that is confusing to you. Just ask your questions, I'm going to answer you. So the next thing you want to do right now is to curve your pants. So you're curving from the crotch side. Use your pant curve. That's if you cannot use your hand to draw it accurately, but I'll advise you to use your pant curve. It's just better. So the other side of the pant is curved with another pant curve, but since my video is not taking it, so to mark your hip, 1/3 of your crotch depth, that's the point you mark your hip. You will notice if you divide this whole thing, that's the waist to the crotch line, you notice that you divide it by 3. That's where I'm marking my hip. Yeah. So the next thing you want to do is to make sure that your hip is in the right position, and then your waist, mark your waist. So sorry my camera couldn't capture it. I didn't notice it before. I was done filming by the time I noticed my camera did not capture that part. So I marked my waist over there, and you notice I just picked up my curve. So I curved the hip to the waist, curve it, and then I did it to the down. So this pant is basically a straight pant. They call it a bush pant too. So from the knee downwards is same measurement. You notice when I use a straight ruler to just rule everything down straight. So sorry, I have a sore throat, but I just have to do this voice overdue. So sorry. So then I'll mark the other side. As you can see, straight down. Yes. So our pant is almost ready to cut. So the next thing we have to do is to mark our sewing allowance on the crotch side. It's very important that you mark it. You don't just sew on that line. So you notice when I'll do that now, I take the chalk and then mark. Yeah. So I'm actually using the scissors to cut out the pant, making it ready to cut out the back because I use the front to cut the back. So I'm just cutting out the pants. That's the hip side that's the other side. So now I'm going to cut off the edge of the fabric because I wouldn't want it to be showing on the pants. I'm cutting it out because I included an extra measurement for that. So now this is the joining allowance. This is 1/2 inch. So the allowance for that part has to be different. That's why sometimes when some people finish making their pants, they'll be wondering what's happening. Why is it tight? Why is it not looking good on me? Why is it folding? It's because you don't add this 1/2 inch allowance here. So I'll cut it out. When I finish cutting it out, I'm going to use it to place it on the back to get the back part of the pants. So once you've gotten the front part of the pants, getting the back is literally easy. I'm telling you, you just need to add 3 cm here, 3 cm there, and that's it. It's not hard. So I'm going to fold the fabric, make sure I'm using the right side. I'm going to fold the fabric again. Fabric that will be big enough to cut out the back part of the pants. So I hope you're learning something. I hope this is explanatory. If there's any confusion, please drop your comments, ask questions, I'll answer you. Yes, so after you've placed the fabric properly, you make sure there's at least 3 centimeters here, 3 centimeters there. Yes, very, very important, because the back pant is not exactly the same size with the front. And then 3 centimeters at this side. So if you start by adding 3 centimeters here, you go inside and come up by 3 centimeters. You go in by 3 centimeters, come up by 3 centimeters. That's the back of the pant. Then here you go down by 1 centimeter in a slanting manner and come out by 3 centimeters. This helps you when you sit with your pants. It will be very comfortable. It will be fitted and yet comfortable. So you notice the straight line I drew there. That's to help you get that point. Then I'll mark the line. You notice that line is not very straight. It's looking a little bit straight because of the form of the person. So now I'm going to curve it. So now we're going to join this line to the side. So literally we just added some kind of semi-darts on the pants. Helps the pants to just fit good on the body. So now you want to connect the knee to the crotch. That's from the back. Next thing you want to do is to make sure that every other part aligns. So you curve it and you start cutting it out. Easy peasy. We are done like that. Oh, we have made plus size pants. As no matter how big a client's tummy is, you can actually make pants for them. You can actually make pants for pregnant people. There's a pattern for them. I could also upload a video how to make pants. A very comfortable trouser for a pregnant person, for real. So also make sure you add the allowance here. All this will enable you to put your darts in the back. So this is how to add allowance to trousers. The extra line you see me draw there that looks like a knife, yeah. The extra line is allowance for pants. It's not really great when you put your allowance for your pants on the side of your pants. No, it's not. It makes it bulky, and when you want to press it and iron it, it will not look good. So I'm cutting out the back part of the pants. Make sure you cut it straight. Use good fabric scissors because it determines the cleanliness of your work. Here I'm using metal scissors. Tailor's pinking shears. This is not pinking shears, tailor's shear. It's also called a tailor's shear. Oopsie, 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 oopsie. I took the fabric off. It needs to be in place before you cut it so you're not going to make mistake. So, yeah. So I have to put it back in place to make sure it aligns properly so that I don't go and cut pants that will look like Baba Jebu pants. As much as it's plus size, it needs to still look good. My scissors is kind of a little bit blunt here, so I was having difficulty cutting. So I hope you've learned something. What did you observe about this tutorial? What is it that is not clear? Drop your comments below. By the way, this is my first YouTube video. That's my first full YouTube video on tutorial on how to cut pants. I hope I did good. This is like my first video. I had to do a voiceover for this. I had to do a voiceover after making this video. So here I'm trying to cut, I think, the waistband. No, the pocket here. Cut the pocket. And the measurement of pockets, usually for bigger people, I like to cut 8 inches wide, and the length, that's the length of the pocket. You know, the pocket is folded into 22 inches. That's for somebody that is not short, somebody who's like average height. But for shorter people, you have to do like 19 inches pocket, not up to 22 inches. Then the wideness, depending on how big the person is. If it's a bigger person, you can do 8.5. If it's a smaller person, you just do 7. Somebody who is medium size, you do 8. So here I'm trying to cut the waistband because it's a plus size client. She would not be using the regular finishing for trouser that you have to zip up. No, this is like invisible zip on the side and then elastic on the waist behind. I'll be adding paper stay to the waistband to give it some firmness, or add some stand in it. That's an interface for the waistband. Then I'll add elastic at the back of the trouser to still make it look good. So because they are plus size doesn't mean they will not wear something that looks nice. So I'm trying to get the waistband out, and the tip of the fabric is kind of not okay. So I have to just like cut it out. Cut off the fabric edge before I get out my waistband. So I just have to cut out that edge because the edge is not stable. It's kind of like flowy. It's not straight. If I cut it off, it will be easier for me to now use this fabric to make a waistband, because I need equal edges, equal stable edges. So I like to cut out 5 inches for my waistband, because this person is wearing she's going to be wearing a high waist pant that's going to like hold her tummy, because her waist measurement is like 48. Yeah, so when she wears this pant, it will look good. She will look as good as a regular size woman in it, because of the way I made it for her, because there's going to be an elastic behind, and that elastic really serves you in place when maybe the person went to a place and they're exhausted, they want to sit down, they can easily sit down comfortably. The waistband is going to readjust to their body as their body stretches when they sit. Yeah, so right now I'm cutting the pocket, just like I said, depending on the size of the client. This one is going to be 8.5 by 22. It's really important to get it right. So you notice yeah, this is, I'm trying to just get the right measurement out for the pant, and this is it. So this is 11 into 2, that's 22. It's really important to get things right. You know, this is actually a bush pant, and the bush pant needs a nice pocket in it so that the person can put their phone or their pen or wherever inside comfortably without it falling off. So far so good. I hope my voice is better now, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions towards making plus size pants, or making pants for people who are heavy, people who are too skinny, pants for people who increase in size easily, like their size is fluctuating, they are either from waist 36 to waist 39 in 3 days. Yeah, the reason why we must add elastic for pants for women is because, you know, women will have hormonal changes, and every now and then during the month we used to have bloating. I used to have bloating. Sometimes my waist measurement is 35, other times it's 37, sometimes 36. Then when I'm not bloated at all, my waist measurement is like 34.5. Yeah, so it's really important that you wear clothes that are comfortable. You not just make clothes that are fitted for your photo shoots, because during your photo shoot you are just there standing, posing. But then if this is a trouser you want to be wearing every day, it has to be comfortable. Like, can I sit in this trouser? Is this trouser something I can wear any day when I'm down, when I'm stressed, when I'm in a public place, when I'm in a public place where I could just easily just relax inside? Is this something I can wear to church? Can I dance in this trouser? Can I enter Okada? Let's say you have a car, you want to just, emergency biking. So these are things you need to consider. That's why you need to just make pants that are comfortable, aesthetically okay for you to wear. This is something that when you sit down, you'll not be feeling as if something is obstructing your breath. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up, follow my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot of things that is going to be interesting, a lot of explanatory videos. Just make your comment on things you don't understand about clothing, fashion. Just ask me in my comment. Make suggestion on the kind of videos I'm going to make next. I'm going to make them specifically just for you. So I hope you learned something. Follow my channel. This is a new channel, and promise you're not going to be here just watching. You're going to watch and learn something that's going to be useful, knowledge that's going to be lucrative for you. By the way, I am Lady Picasso, the Lady Picasso, CEO of Fashion Clothing. Thanks for watching. I hope my voice is not too grouchy for you. So enjoy the rest of your day.